I was giving away the latest phones for free with no hidden requirements, so I did not want to miss it.
Actually, you can get the latest phones free all season long.
What?
Get the latest phones free with the plan of your choice and no required phone trade-ins all season long. U.S. Cellular. Upgrade to Fair.
Smart, but there's a lot of speed involved, a lot of suspense. Boats of Jeopardy are going to be taking on regular people. They're not just regular, though. They're pretty smart, but there's a lot of speed involved, a lot of suspense, a lot of learning. So if you like trivia, if you like Jeopardy, if you like a game show, this is for you. We've got Ken Jennings, Brad Rutter, James Holzhauer. It's kind of addictive because each time you don't know, can anyone actually beat these guys? And it's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I think everybody will be. Yeah, have a great time.
Thank you.
We want everybody to know we want you to have a great day. Take a little time to enjoy the view. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and we'll see you tomorrow right here.
Coming up, after a deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol today, some lawmakers are asking why police weren't more prepared. A closer look next on ABC 13 News at noon. A lot of questions today about how demonstrators were able to break into the Capitol building in Washington in a violent march that ended with 4 people dead. We're keeping our eyes on the possibility for winter weather in the area, how the South Side is preparing for the first potential snow of the new year. As COVID numbers continue to rise, health experts say we're just not getting the vaccine out fast enough.
This is by far the worst disaster I've ever been involved in.
And now a dire prediction from the CDC about the coming weeks.
News coverage you can count on. This is ABC 13 News at noon.
Good afternoon. Conditions this afternoon are looking much different than what we're going to be seeing the next couple of days. So this afternoon, very nice, cool and pleasant conditions out there, but we do have some snow on the way, especially for portions of Southside and the New River Valley. Keeping an eye on that, but cool and pleasant conditions will remain in the forecast this afternoon as clouds rapidly build within the next couple of hours. Now, by tomorrow, that's when we'll be tracking the snow possibility. Not everybody will see snow out there, but some locations will get some snow in the forecast. And next week, possibly seeing another snow chance in the forecast. So if you don't see it this time, you have another shot next week. Temperatures in the lower 40s at this time, 43 degrees for Lynchburg and Roanoke, 43 degrees for Danville. Keeping an eye out this afternoon as those clouds build ahead of rain chances, which are right now over portions of the southeast, but will be pushing into our area, already sparking winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. I'll be timing out these winter storm warnings, let you know exactly when that snow will move in and who will be impacted by this. Coming up next.
Well, a day after protesters breached the Capitol, President Trump has put out a statement promising an orderly transition on Inauguration Day. ABC 13 has team coverage. We're first going to go to ABC's Faith Abube in Washington to break down what has happened in the last 24 hours.
Just before 4 o'clock this morning,
the chair declares the joint session dissolved.
Vice President Mike Pence announcing the results of the Electoral College vote count, closing out what should have been a ceremonial joint session on a day marred by mob violence at the Capitol. It took a riot by thousands of Trump supporters storming the U.S. Capitol for Congress to finally come together and officially certify Joe Biden as the next president. Hordes of angry Trump supporters easily breaching barricades, even appearing to get some help from some members of the Capitol Hill police. Rioters quickly overwhelming police and seizing the halls of Congress. Congressional leaders and the vice president whisked away. Others left to take shelter in the room, diving under desks.
Obviously, we were concerned. I never thought I'd ever see this in the United States.
In the Senate, one rioter reaching the podium, and on the other side of the Capitol, another posed with his boots on Speaker Nancy Pelosi's desk. Police also say they recovered 2 pipe bombs near the scene. A state of emergency declared. The sources tell ABC News the president initially rebuffed efforts to bring in the National Guard until aides finally convinced him. The demonstrations turning deadly. At least 4 people died, 3 from medical emergencies, and 1 woman shot by Capitol Hill police.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness.
More than 3 hours after the violent attack began, the president posting a video praising his followers and asking them to go home, but not before repeating the false claim that the election was stolen. Critics say those claims, often repeated by Trump's Republican allies in Congress, contributed to the violence.
I criticize some of our public leaders for raising this false expectation that Congress was going to somehow reverse this election.
That attack today, it didn't materialize out of nowhere. It was inspired by lies.
And while many GOP lawmakers backed off their plans to challenge the Electoral College vote count, more than 125 House Republicans and 8 GOP senators still voted to subvert the will of the American people. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
And new at noon, Facebook has banned President Trump from its platform through the inauguration. Yesterday, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram suspended the president's accounts from posting for 12 hours because of what it calls a risk of violence. The social media site said that the risk of the president's posts is just too great. All right, well, many Republican lawmakers switched gears after the protest by not objecting to certifying Biden's victory. ABC 13's Cynthia Beasley is live in our Lynchburg newsroom. And Cynthia, many of our congressmen stood their ground.
Patty, they did. Despite some colleagues letting the process move on, 3 Republicans from our area still objected. When the Capitol shut down, halting proceedings, the chambers were separately debating an objection to Arizona's results. According to the New York Times, 6 senators and 121 representatives voted to sustain the Arizona objection. Now, that list includes Congressman Ben Cline, Bob Good, and Morgan Griffith. And new at noon, Good posted this response on his Facebook page just minutes ago, reading in part, quote, "I was proud yesterday to join other Republican conservatives in the House in formally objecting to the electoral votes for 6 states in question: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin." Griffith and Klein have not posted anything about their decision, so ABC 13 is reaching out to them. We did ask Senator Tim Kaine about his response to this, and he says, quote, "It's outrageous and spineless. They didn't object to Virginia's results," going on to say, quote, "Those voters can't hold you accountable. So these folks overthrow the popular vote, willing to disenfranchise people. Hypocrites." And we are reaching out to those congressmen today, and we will have more coverage on this on ABC 13 News at 5. Live in the Lynchburg newsroom, Cynthia Beasley, ABC 13 News.
All right, well, snow could be on the way for the South Side. Crews are preparing for what could be coming. ABC 13's Casey Baylor is live in Danville, where they're already at work. Casey.
Patty, crews are right behind me. They have been creating a brine solution since this morning and been putting it out on the streets in Danville since 6 o'clock. Crews have been preparing the roads for what's to come. Danville could anticipate 1 to 3 inches, with snow possibly falling tomorrow morning. Public Works Director Rick Drazinovich says with that possibility, he wanted to prepare. He says he didn't want to take any chances with this dicey weather.
Well, it happens often in this region. We get on the edges of the storms, and in that case, we can either get rain or snow.
His biggest concern are bridges, since they are the first to freeze, so you want to be careful driving on the MLK Bridge tomorrow morning. He says if snow falls or if roads get icy, he will call in some crews to lay down salt. And Drazinovich says putting down that brine is roughly a 10-hour process, so you will see brine trucks on the roads throughout the day today. He says be careful, you don't want to get too close to them as they're prepping the roads. Live in Danville, Casey Baylor, ABC 13 News.
Thank you, Casey. Well, Route 29 business is back open in Madison Heights this noon after being closed for much of the morning. At around 7 this morning, a Verizon utility pole snapped near the intersection of Dillard Road. 29 was closed from Dillard to Route 130. No one was hurt, and crews are still trying to figure out what caused that pole to break. Restaurant Week changes coming up. We're going to tell you the changes a local event is making so that it can still happen during the pandemic. And the Japan Olympics are still on. The one thing the Prime Minister hopes will happen before then. Residents, check out these 2020 All-America City caps, shirts, face masks, and cups. This gear was made because Danville was recognized as one of 10 communities named as a 2020 All-American City. You can purchase yours at the Danville Welcome Center. All right, well, things are going to look different than in years past, but Roanoke plans on holding Restaurant Week for 2021. It's being called Downtown Roanoke